2 साल हो गए, काम तो 1 से 3 इंसान का हो गया, पर अप्रेजल तो आधे इंसान का भी नहीं मिला। द फर्स्ट थिंग इज, अगर काम 1 से 3 का हो गया है तो आप ही कर रहे हो। Hi, this is Saurabh Singla, CHRO at upGrad. I'm here to answer questions related to performance appraisals, flavor of the season, and a lot of questions which may not have been asked ever. Let's go for it. At the rate Yash Rosh is asking me, sometimes I feel my manager doesn't even read my self-evaluation. Am I wasting my time with this, and does it even matter? Well, it does matter. It matters because whatever you've done during the year, if you're not documenting it well, it either means that you haven't thought through it well, or it also may mean that you don't have enough to write there. So the number one thing is you have to document it. Number two, bring a lot of data, bring a lot of narratives, bring instances so that you can talk about what you've done, because not everything may be just about numbers as well. So do a lot of prep, do some practice on it for sure. And if you can actually continue to document it throughout the year and then make a summary, I can tell you it makes a lot of difference. I've been doing it myself for all these years, and that's the advice that I give to everyone. Sarthak 14 is asking, कंपनी के प्रायोरिटीज के हिसाब से गोल्स तो चेंज हो गए, पर मेरे प्रीसेट KRA तो वहीं के वहीं रह गए। अब ये अप्रेजल में बोलूंगा तो एक्सक्यूज लगेगा। व्हाट आर द थॉट्स? सो सार्थक, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, इफ द कंपनी प्रायोरिटीज वर चेंज्ड, आपको बताया था या नहीं? एंड इफ यू नो अबाउट इट, आपने क्या किया था? नाउ द गोल पोस्ट वॉज चेंज्ड एट अ डिपार्टमेंट लेवल और अ रोल लेवल और अ कंपनी लेवल. You would know it better. But if I was you, what I will do is I will write about my preset KRAs because I've done those. Plus, what did I do to adjust to the new changed priorities of the organization? What you do in your job makes a difference to the top line and the bottom line of the organization. So if you're aware about that, write them down. And when you talk to your manager, put that very clearly. You should have data, you should have outcome. Go and have your discussion. I'm sure it's going to be a great one. Tanny 360 is asking, 2 साल हो गए, काम तो 1 से 3 इंसान का हो गया, पर अप्रेजल तो आधे इंसान का भी नहीं मिला. I like this job, but I don't want to stay like this. What should I do? Tanny, बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. 3 का ही हुआ है काम. मुझे लगता था ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में कई जगह पे 4-5 का भी हो गया है काम, और फिर भी लोग जहां पर बैठे थे वहीं पर बैठे हैं. Well, my dear friend, the first thing is, अगर काम 1 से 3 का हो गया है तो आप ही कर रहे हो, बिकॉज यू हैवंट सेड कि मैं वो 3 लोगों का काम नहीं कर पा रहा हूं. मेरा बिलीफ है कि यू आर डूइंग वेरी वेल इन योर करियर. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, बी कॉन्फिडेंट. नंबर 2, नाउ इफ यू आर डूइंग वर्क 3 times, can you step back and find out what's that impact you're doing on the organization outcome? I'm again repeating, the top line and the bottom line. The top line is the revenue of the organization, the bottom line is the profitability. How are you impacting that? If you have the answer, great. If you don't have the answer, please find it out and document that in your performance appraisal document. But Tani, if you still believe that as of now, I'm still not getting the answer to how do I increase my salary, well, then there are various ways around it. You find a role that pays you more. For going into that role, you may want to upskill yourself. You may want to do some things differently. And by the way, if you have to upskill yourself, do I need to tell you more? At the rate Lewis 1Q84 or IQ84 is asking, I've performed really well this year, but just appraisal se pehle hi my manager quit. Oops. Is there any way I can show my new manager what I deserve, or is the basic 5% my fate? Oh, 5% is good, by the way, isn't it? The market, what we're hearing. I'm just joking. Louis, my question to you would be, were you only connected to your manager? Number 1. Or were you connected to your manager of manager as well? Number 2, does it really matter whether your manager is there or not, because you're in a role and you're very clear about what you are delivering to the organization and what are you doing every day? Your appraisal document is the key to your good conversation and making the new manager understand. But before you do that, I would certainly recommend that you should have started building a rapport with your new manager. So spend time with your new manager. Make sure that if there are some specific things that your new manager should know of, you are talking to the person. And one more idea, you can actually go and tell your manager in the start of the conversation, I have a perception, I have a thought that because you're new, you may not know me as well. Can you ask me some more questions so there is no doubt left at all? Best of luck, I'm sure you'll do well. At the rate Arushi35 is asking, every time I go for my appraisal meeting, I think I'm so prepared, but boss के सामने जाते ही full blank हो जाती हूँ. इस nervousness को कैसे tackle करूँ? No, that wasn't a blip. I was trying to be blank as well and thinking what can happen, by the way. Well, you certainly are in trouble, Arushi. But you know what? I do believe in the fact that if you're going to the appraisal meeting and you're going blank, have you prepared for it even once? Number one, definitely read through your document. Two, maybe you want to practice in front of a mirror. And if you have a friend who's going to make it a little wacky and interesting, do a conversation and try doing it once. Now, still you can be nervous. And is it about the questions your boss is asking? Or is it about the fact that you're not talking to your boss regularly? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आपको practice की ज़रूरत है. And maybe that's causing nervousness. Think about it again. Try it once. I'm 100% sure you will do a great session this time. So Dhruv98 is asking, appraisals में तो everything is about the numbers. Attrition तो ठीक है, but team building और leadership को आप quantify कैसे करो? Dhruv, brilliant question, and I'm assuming you're a team manager and it's bothering you. Every time I take numbers, then my boss asks, that is fine, but team का क्या हुआ? There is a very simple solution to it, Dhruv. If you're actually quantifying everything, be open. And if it's about your people and leadership, I would certainly recommend take inputs from them. At the same time, you will also at times have some instances which are not happy. Put them on paper. Appraisal is not only about praising yourself and writing everything which has gone well. And when you do that, Dhruv, I'm telling you, I've tried that across my life, throughout my career. It does magic. It's going to be so genuine. Your leader will love you for that. And everything gets quantified. At the rate Sir Caldwell is asking, is an average or poor appraisal game over? Or is there a room for convincing my manager if I'm not happy? Well, the answer is absolutely yes. Why would you even think twice about it? If you believe that the appraisal process went and the outcome that you've got, you're not happy with it, well, it does not matter whether anything changes or not. What's most important is you should definitely go and talk. But my dear friend, do not go and say that, oh, if you don't change it, then this A, B, C will happen. Because that's not a collaborative discussion that can happen. Go and voice out your concern. And this is where you talk about the feelings. Because if you're feeling sad or mad or bad, you're certainly not feeling glad, right? So if you're feeling one of these three things, just go and talk. You have a human being sitting on the other side. He or she also gets appraised, by the way. So go and talk about it. But I would also certainly recommend, along with this, take some data points. If you think it's not logical what has happened, then you would have some logical reasoning for it as well. Make sure you look at it, and not just from a perspective that you have to go and convince the other person. You need to also be convinced about it yourself. If you are convinced, I can tell you, you will convince the other person as well. But if you don't ask for it, nothing's changing then. Thank you very much. This is Saurabh Singla signing out from Frequently Unasked Questions. If you have more, definitely write to us. I was thrilled to give some answers and I hope they help. Thank you.
Cut it. That was great.
This was fun. When are we doing this again?
We'll get back to you shortly.